Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Mick McQuillan coming to you from the Republic of Ireland. And of course, I'm here with my good friend, Joey Unga. And of course, this is episode 36, You Were Born Rich. And we're going through the Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich. We've got part four. We're going to finish off part four this week, I think. But again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Click the notifications so that you can see when Joey and I are on. It's usually around the same time every Sunday, around this time. So wherever you are in the world, take a note of what time it is, and this is what time we'll be here. And this is really a no limits transform your life. And I was listening to something, Joe, and you can introduce yourself in a second, but I want you to answer this question as well. I was listening to something earlier on, and they were talking about making a decision. Instead of making decisions, why not make choices? Choices opens up the world. When you make a decision, you're committed to that one thing. When you make a choice, you've got far more flexibility with that choice. Do you know what I mean? You can do much, much more with it. So, Joey, say hello, and then we'll get started on this. This will be a shorter clip. We've only got about 15 minutes left, so we'll probably be a little bit shorter today, But look, say hi, Joey.
Hey, good day, good evening, good night, good morning. That's about the, wherever you available, you can show up and make the commitment. I like Mike said, to be here or not, but we make a commitment. It starts from a choice, and then we committed to it. So with viewing night to night happen. It's only 1 hour share with you guys, but for me, it's important that we share this because we understand how important the information can transform a life. And it's a beautiful day here, even though it's nighttime here, so you can hear a lot of kids running around. But we'll still make it happen. Mike, it's a pleasure being here. And tuning in. Please like this comment or share, because you never know who's going to change their life when they understand and hear this information.
Yeah, of course, Joey. And I've got your Facebook link running along the bottom. So if you want to reach out and friend Joey or catch up with Joey, ask Joey some questions. Because I think Joey and I both agree that, that we're here to serve. We're here to help people. Here to try and make a difference in people's lives, So, and that's really what we want. We want to be able to make a difference, not just for ourselves, but for other people too. It really is. So maybe, I don't know, maybe if you're stuck or maybe you're feeling stuck or maybe you've got a problem and you want to get that problem solved, maybe you just need to come at it from a different way. And maybe, either myself or Joey, can offer some kind of guidance or assistance, or maybe just a listening ear, someone else to share that problem with. For me, one of my problems was maybe, not moving in a direction that I wanted to move in. And so by coming together with Joey and doing a collaboration like this and going through the Bob Proctor material, the Remastered You Were Born Rich webinar, helps me to think more clearly, helps me to make better choices, to move me in a direction that I want to go in. And if you're feeling a little bit stuck, maybe reach out. Maybe maybe our stories can help you find a way for yourself. And of course, one of those ways is to look and feel the best you felt in a decade. So you can join our 16-week challenge, and you don't have to, but you could do, but just take the opportunity to do something different, make some new habits, create some new habits, and of course, like I think we're getting deep into this stuff now with this. There's only a few more parts left, but it's really enjoyable, and all the links are in the description. And of course, go back and watch it from the beginning. Pardon me. I probably will, because there's so much information in it, So look, we're not going to hang around. And of course, look, this is my Facebook. If you want to reach out, you can find me at facebook.com/Mick McQuillan, FHL. And look, just get in touch. So if you're watching live or on the replay, this is all about growth, personal growth, making a decision. I might stop using that word decision. I might start using choice. It's not, because look, you can make a decision to do something or not to do something. You can make a choice, when you make a decision to do something or not to do something, it seems so final. Like it's like, oh right, well I made a decision on that, can't go back on that. Whereas you can change your mind on a choice. You could choose to find out more about what we're doing. You could choose, to do nothing. Doing nothing is still doing something. But is that going to move you closer towards where you want to be? What is it that you really want? And that's what we want to get into. All right. So look, should we jump straight into this, Joe? Yeah, Joey's at a funeral, by the way, just in case you didn't catch that. So we're going to get straight. Well, he's not. He's at the removal. I don't know what it is you call that, but let's get into this. Bob Proctor.
Page 32. Now, rather than read that page, I want to suggest that you just listen and mentally go along with me. I'm going to attempt to paint a picture in your mind. I want you to image an elderly couple that are living in the backwoods. They've been there all their life. They know nothing except what's in their own immediate environment. Now, this elderly couple have never had an experience of using electricity. All they've ever illuminated their home with is a wax candle or a kerosene lamp. They've had travelers that drop by periodically that have talked about this idea of electricity, but they have never used it. In the latter years of their life, they're transported into a small town. And to their amazement, this house is lighted with little 8-candled bulbs. Now, keep in mind, all they've ever used is the wax candle or the kerosene lamps. Now, to their amazement, they have this electricity. It would truly be magic to them. Now, I want you to imagine if you've just, maybe purchased a microwave oven that has a sensory touch, just the energy.
Talking with this business owner a couple of days ago, he fired all of his sales reps to replace them with AI.
That's insane.
Coming from your finger will activate the switch, and it would cook a hot dog faster than you could pour a glass of milk. We stand and we look at those things even when we're using them when we're alone. And we laugh, we think, wow, Meaning, it's not able to talk to us, it's not able to laugh with us, but we're amused by this concept. Well, this couple, I would imagine, would go over and they'd touch the switch. Remember, light to them was fire up to that point. And they're amazed that it doesn't burn them. They just flip the switch, the light's gone, it's dark again. I would imagine they'd look at this, go, wow, isn't that something? Think of it. Gee. Well, try and experience this in your mind. They have never, ever seen anything like this before. They'd do it together, and then when they were alone, they'd wander over and they'd flip that switch again. See, their expectation would be that of fire, and every time they get near light, they expect it to be burned. But now they're finding that this doesn't burn them. It's much better to read by. If they had a book, they could sit and they'd read it so much easier with this new light than they would have with the old. Well, electricity is very, very much like this power that we use in many respects. If you're going to work with electricity, you must work from a higher to a lower potential. Any engineer, any electrician will be quick to tell you that if you attempt to work from a lower to a higher potential, you'll get no use out of the electricity. Certainly no positive use. They'll also tell you that electricity can cook a person's dinner or it can cook the person. And the truth is, we have used it for both on occasion. You can use the electricity to freeze food, or you can use electricity to fry the food. It can be used one way or another. One day, after this elderly couple had become used to this new concept, and they can turn the light on without any fear of being burned, and they're used to these little 8-candle powered bulbs, a traveler knocks on their door. The traveler is holding a light bulb. And he's saying, those little bulbs are no good anymore. There's not enough light from them. The illumination, it's limited. What you really need is one of these 60-candle powered bulbs. Those little 8-candle powered bulbs are really next to useless. The elderly couple, of course, doesn't really know what the traveler's talking about. Why, he said, you know that one of these bulbs would illuminate this room to a greater degree than all of these bulbs put together. Said, let me show you. And he goes around and he loosens all the little bulbs but one. Then he takes the one remaining bulb that's burning and he takes it right out of the socket and he puts in the 60-candle powered bulb, and wham, to their amazement, that entire room is illuminated like daylight. They have difficulty believing that so much light could come from one bulb. Now I want you to imagine that traveler attempting to tell that elderly couple that the magic is not in the bulb, that the power had always been there. They'd say, oh, no way, the magic's in the bulb. You go back to the electrician or the engineer, and they'll tell you that the only limits placed on this power that we call electricity that is illuminating this stage, the only limits placed on it are the limits that's placed on the form through which it flows, namely the transformer or the bulb. Likewise, the only limit that's placed on this power are the limits that's placed on the form through which it flows. And if you want to illuminate your life to a greater degree, all that is necessary is for you to build a bigger idea, understand the laws of this power, impregnate this part of your personality with that bigger idea, and you will see your results change just as fast as the light in that room changed. I'm going to give you an excellent example. At the break, I had a gentleman come over and talk to me. He's sitting right over here on my left. And he showed me something. I read you a letter yesterday, or in an earlier lesson, where Joanne White from Kansas City told me about her son going to the seminar in 1976 and the change that took place. That letter was dated February 1986. There's this gentleman sitting on the side here. Do you want to stand up for a minute, please? He came to the seminar in February 1986. What were you earning prior to that, Al?
Approximately $18,000.
$18,000. I'm going to relate that to the little 8-candle powered bulb. Al, approximately what are you earning today per year?
Approximately $500.
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not
$500,000. He didn't even mess around with the 60-candle power bulb. He shot right up to 100. Now, I referred to my son's manager yesterday. This man has the same manager. And I was mentioning that your environment is vitally important. See, not only is Brian fortunate enough to have the same manager, he's fortunate enough to have an associate like Al. There are 20,000 agents selling real estate in Al's company. Is that correct, Al?
That's within REMAX International.
There's 20,000.
Correct.
How many of the 20,000, Al, now think of the way I'm asking you the question, of 20,000, how many of them sell more in a year than you do?
About 13.
He stands number 14 out of 20,000 salespeople. Many of these people would be in the business for a number of years. Al's been in the business since February 1986. How many in Canada sell more than you, Al?
7.
Changes daily, I guess. When you handed this to me at the break, and that's when he gave it to me, what did you tell me made the difference?
Just changing my attitude and following some of the things that I've picked up through your seminars.
You came to a seminar shortly after you started.
Exactly.
And he took these ideas and look what he's done with them. Give him another hand. Thank you, Al. You know, I mentioned early in the book that reading and memorizing this information does absolutely no good. I've been in this business a long, long time. I've been in it just about as long as Brian's been living. And I have watched many people come in and go out of this business. Many of them could talk very intelligently about this, but only a few ever really learned how to use it. You've got to stick with this. And you have to take these lessons serious. They sound a little silly at times, but it's like the little young guy from Burlington that I mentioned, Tim Krochak. He said, although this stuff may sound hokey, it works. You see, Al went from an $18,000 idea to a $500,000 idea. This power doesn't recognize difference. It just takes whatever you give to it and turns it into form.
I was just reading from Belief in the Torchbearer series. You just saw young Mark. He obviously believed what John suggested to him. We received a call here just recently in our office. Mark's last report card, he received 82. 82 in his last report card. Al Spazzeri obviously believed he had a $500,000 idea locked up within him. You see, Mark was always capable of getting the 82, and Al was always capable of earning the $500,000 a year. You're capable of doing what you want. You believe, and you can do it. Is there a better position in your life? Is there a better report card in your life? Believe. You'll get it.
Pass the torch, one to another. Carry the flame as far as you can.
All right, Joe. So, obviously, when I'm interested in getting your thoughts, but I was listening to it, and my first thoughts were limited thinking, right? Just having limited thinking, and then I was thinking, and then there was self-limiting beliefs came into it. These are just thoughts that were popping into my mind, and then of course change thinking habits, because you have to change. You have to change the way you think, right? And then your man came on at the end, and he was talking about an attitude change. Like he had an attitude change, which I suppose, that was a really interesting 15 minutes right at the very end, and it explains a lot. You know, when you talk about you've got to be in that place of the higher self. You know, you're saying that you can't think from here and expect to get up there. You have to think from up there. You know, and then you work backwards for sure. You can work back down to where you are, but you've got to start. Your thinking's got to be up here, right? What are your thoughts?
This is a very interesting concept because my background is in electrical and in the engineer with working with electricity, and this is one of the principles when we study electrical back in the college, and they always said electricity travel from high potential to a lower potential, which is positive. You always start from the positive, and to the negative. It's kind of remind me that whatever we do or try to achieve in life, it's good to start with the end in mind. So if we already think and have it in our mind that we already achieved that, you know, and work is it's called reverse engineer. So you already achieve what you want in life, and then you work back how I can um, achieve that by plan, action. But one interesting thing that I realized, like you say, he said, and this week I come with a revelation that change it can't happen overnight, but it's happen over time. So whatever kind of attitude you want to change, you can only replace a bad attitude with a good attitude. You're gonna by work on it constantly, daily, and like you said, it's nothing change overnight, but the change can be happen over time. So it's a daily progress. Success is a. I think there's a definition from L. Nightingale. Success is a progressing, realizing a worthy ideal, and I mean something that you fall in love with, something you want to make it happen, like with your goals, and always start with the end in mind. So whatever you want to achieve in life, always start with that and work backward and see how can I change my your attitude, your behavior, your act, your belief to where that things that you want to life. And uh, thoughts, but it's deep. It's deep because we fought like climbing up, but the successful people, when they understand that concept, they have to put their mind on top of the ladder and work backward, down. But for us, most people, they kind of like we have to work from the bottom to the top. We have to work from the negative side to get to the positive side. But tonight lesson it reminds us that we have to work from the positive, you know, to get to where you are now. And I think one of the questions, and it's I was happy to find out through my journey this week, is first thing you have to ask yourself, where are you now, and where you want to go. It's like you so, and then you said, okay, I'm going. Like for example, if I wanted to go to Ireland to see Mike, I have to understand I'm currently in Australia, and I have to understand this is where I am now, but I want to go to this place, to Ireland. How can I get there? Maybe I can go by a boat. Maybe I can go by a plane. Maybe I can, wish and hope that I will get there. But the ideal is when you put your mind into something that you want to reach in life, always go with the high potential. Always think in your I already achieved it. And I said to him today, I had an event, invited 53 people. and only one turned up, and that person was my retiring neighbor. And I told my team, I sit there, I was grateful, I was joy, knowing I already success, but but it take time. I know I'm fighting time, because I'm already there. I just do the daily activity that will get me there, inviting people. If they come, they know. Just keep doing the thing. Just keep changing the attitude. Just work on myself daily, and I think, because I have that high thinking, and then I start with the ended mind. I will be get there one day. I will be on the.
Joe, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Because when I look back at any success that I've had, and I've had some, right? In my mind, it was already done. There was just a passage of time that literally just needed to go by before it came into a reality. Now, of course, yes, there's still action that you might have to take, but in my mind, I could see it. I could see it as being done. And then you actually brought this up. But when you were talking there, and in fact, I was just thinking about the simplest things, because this stuff sometimes gets just complicated all by itself. When you break it down into the simplest thing, like if you're watching this maybe live or on the replay or whatever it is that you're doing, and Joe was talking about maybe wanting to go to Ireland, but break it down even more simpler. Let's say that you're going on your summer holiday. What do? You start dreaming about where you want to go. You start looking at pictures, magazines, and different things like this, and you see yourself on that beach or in that villa or wherever else. And then you take the necessary action, to go down to the travel agents, go online, you book it, or you do whatever you're going to do, and then you pay for it. And then there's just a passage of time that has to go by until you're there, but you took the action, and you're there. So look, I'll if you're thinking about how do I do this, just think about all the times that you've done it in the past. Start with that simple example of a holiday where you booked a holiday. You looked at pictures, you dreamt about being on the beach, you dreamt about the villa, you dreamt about the sun hitting your body and what you were going to look like, what clothes you were going to wear, your swimming costume, what the water was going to feel like and everything else. You dreamed about it, then you took the appropriate action, and then the passage of time went past and you were there. It's not a complicated thing, it's just a small thing. Imagine doing that on a much, much bigger scale with your entire life. If you can do it with just a holiday, you can do it with your entire life, right? So, Joe, give us your final thoughts, on what we've seen so far, on parts 1 through 4, and we'll wind up early because I know you've got a bit of business to take care of. And but listen, I want to hear what you've got to say.
Thank you, Mike. Always a pleasure. I understand that things can get in the way, but when we make the choice that we're gonna be here tonight, and I'm grateful that still able to make it, no matter what. Whether life or death, we still make it happen. So, final thought. I was thinking about Bob saying there was a couple they never saw, but then someone come and show them the light, and when they switch the light, the light switch, and it's and the light bulb was then on, and then they were amazed and surprised to see, because they only see the light is like maybe, that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this program, because Bob have give us a big light bulb, the information and resource that and it changed our life. And because it changed our life, it make an impact, make a difference. That's why we're turning every Sunday to pay it forward. And if you listen to this, if you hear this, watch the replay, because you have the YouTube with you. It's free, and it's available, to each and every one of us. And if it changed our life, it will change yours too. Mike, thank you for your time.
Brilliant, Joy. I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your precious day today, because I know you're dealing with a serious thing, that's happening, in your life and your family's life and stuff like that. But look, it's a real privilege, to be mentored and to, follow you and your success. You're doing an amazing job, making a difference in many people's lives. And I learn a lot from you. So keep doing what you're doing, because you truly are making a difference. All right, listen, we're going to play out with our favorite video. and then Joey and I are going to go off and do our things, and hopefully he'll stick around. We'll have a quick conversation with him afterwards. I've got some questions for him. But if you've got questions for Joey, or maybe you've got questions for me, you know, you can find Joey right here on his Facebook page. Let me find it. Hold on. So you can find Joey right here. Just go to facebook.com, joey.unger. And of course, you can find me here, Mick McQuillan, FHL. So look, reach out, get in touch. If you've got questions, get those questions answered. If you're curious, just curious, there's nothing better than being curious. Find out more. You know, maybe it's not for you, but look, who cares? Who cares anyway, right? Look, let's play out, and I'll see you on the other side.
You see, we are created in a magnificent vibration, in an absolutely magnificent vibration. Born risk takers. Free. That conditioning takes place after birth. You can change it. It takes guts. It takes goals. How do you know something? You're sitting there watching this and you're thinking, by God, I'm going to change something. I always say, keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. I don't care what the cynics tell you. Quit listening to some of your peers. Now, all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not. When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? You've got to create a sense of urgency. I'm going to do it right now.
If you can see it, you can do it. But the beautiful truth is you can do anything. We got to know there is a place. There is a specific frequency. And if you get on that frequency, you're going to attract what you need to you. This is what it's all about. Why have you been endowed with such awesome powers? If you'll make a committed decision, this I'm going to do. And you don't have to know how. You do not have to know how. The second you make the committed decision, you flip your brain onto the frequency that you have to be on to attract what you have to attract to manifest the thing that you want. If you can see it, you can do it. It's got to be something you want. Wants come from inside. Act like you're already there. Walk, talk, speak, live like you're already there. Don't set a small goal. Don't set something that doesn't really wind your step. Set it so big it jazzes you. It really gets you going. When something of a very high nature resonates with the very high side of you, you'll know it. You'll know it. You will feel it. Feeling is conscious awareness of vibration. The only prerequisite, do you want it? Not do you need it, not could you do it. The only prerequisite is, do you want it? Take the lid off your marvelous mind and dream. For goodness sake, give yourself the right to do that. Get your analytical mind out of the way. Put it in your pocket for a while. All you're doing is exploring, daydreaming. What did Lawrence say? All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their mind waken the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.